We did it all without you. I'll ask right now. We're supposed to do prayer much.
It's just different. Our service is so much longer if there's so many people.
It's very cool.
How you doing?
I'm good. How's your voice?
Good. You made it, bro.
Nice to see you. In the second row.
Hey, good. How are you? Holy cow. Look at how big this kid is.
These? And these?
Can you say hi to hi? Do you remember these boys?
Maybe just like for me, we're still teenagers. I mean, that's only for a few weeks.
Right.
Selling my house, it's on the but it's soft now. I think it's
Not well.
I actually sent them since
Now we're supposed to have lunch.
I took a picture of my phone and sent it to them. So
Tommy Lip.
I will tell you
Tommy Lip will work. Then your head.
How's it okay?
I know.
Are we hugging? Is that okay?
yes, I'm hugging.
How's your night?
You? I'm gonna die.
Good.
Now he's going out of class. Okay. I haven't seen you.
Well, we're from this other city. We're from Oh, I used to. I'm from Florida. We are one tribe.
Wait, it just. I got
Supposedly for the Olympics, they did. Is it still better to go to I do not understand. You see pictures of
I've heard a lot about it. I was standing over there and I'm like, I make that Hello, I'm Allison. Sure. I think I know. Yes. Cheryl Waxman's daughter. Yeah. I know. And this is my wife. This is my first day here. No. She kept kind of crying me and I was just like, a bit. So I played her in high school. It's all right. Yeah. I've met all sorts of people. Okay. And I never knew it. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah.
funny.
And it's going to be back. Just talking about this 25 years. That's crazy. You all look so nice.
Thanks. She chose the name.
So now I went through and I picked out like a little shirts from school.
I'm so ready to see it. I've been up there a week.
Dad.
Just so much highlight.
Shabbat Shalom. We are beginning on the top of page 188. I'd like to invite all who have not had a chance to do so yet to take your own prayer book from the shelves on either side of the sanctuary, both in the front of the doors and in the back. The dark blue books have English writing, what's called transliteration in them. And we just lost the light. Oh, here we go. Thanks for that. Let the relay. And the royal blue books are Hebrew or Malay, so please feel free to use either one. We're going to begin by singing of the joy of being together with the words Hinei Matov at the top of page 188. And here at Beth Tikva, we welcome people joining in any way they like, especially while we sing together. And if you're not getting your tongue around those Hebrew words, that's fine. Just sing la 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 or something similar because it all works for us. Together. Let's try that one more time.
How good and pleasant it is for us to be together. How wonderful it is to be together on this day. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom means Sabbath of peace, and this is a Sabbath of peace and joy as we celebrate Madeline's Mitzvah today. Also, Madeline's birthday today. You'll never guess how old she is. And this is also a day of receiving name, a day that Madeline will be called to the Torah, to read from the Torah. She will also be leading the community in prayer for the very first time and offering a Devar Torah, an interpretation of her Devar, of her Torah portion. So it's a very exciting day for her family, for our entire community. And we are thrilled to see you and to be together celebrating this day. We're going to begin our service with an opening prayer, and I'd like to invite forward at this time to lead us in the opening prayer, Linda and Brian.
We are grateful each morning for the fresh promise of a new day, a day of new experience, of warmth and friendship, of a new task undertaken, new fruits planted, of efforts brought to fruition, of bountiful harvest reaped.
We are grateful each day for the creative and nurturing capacities we have been granted, for the compassion to sense those in fear, those in hunger and in pain, for the opportunity to share some of our bounty with those less fortunate.
We are grateful for each evening,
For the rest that comes after the day's tasks are done,
for the satisfaction of enjoying the fruits of our labors,
and for the opportunity to share this completeness with our neighbors.
Amen.
Amen.
I'd like to invite forward at this time Juliet to present to Madeline her talith.
Madeline, Rose, it is with great love in my heart that I present this tallit to you. This tallit is a prayer shawl worn by many Jews, and the tassels on the sides remind us of God's commandments and our responsibilities to fulfill those commandments. But this tallit is more than that. It is, when you wear it, we hope you are enveloped with great love of your family, of your friends, and of God's love. Today is, we're tremendously proud of you today, and this is just a very special day in your life. Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu b'yipater v'asisi.
We open our prayer books to page 192, and we're going to sing Ma Tovu, a blessing of welcome for everyone who is here in sacred space.
La
turn to page 196. A prayer thanking God for the goodness that we are born with. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tohora hi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God, and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. Baruch atah Adonai, asher b'yado nefesh kol chai, baruch kol b'sar ish. We continue on page 198, as Madeline will lead us in prayers thanking God for daily miracles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Please join me as you wish. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Page 206. Think about all the things you could do to make a difference in the world. This is a list of activities that we can do that really help people. These are the things that are limitless. Elu devarim she'ein lahem shi'or. These are the things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. We turn to page 218 as we sing Hallelujah, thanking God for all of God's mighty deeds.
The easy part of this is Hallelujah, Hallelujah. You won't join me? Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah.
224. We chant Chatzi Kaddish as we exalt and hallow God's great name.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו.
Amen.
וילמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומייכון וחיי בכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו וכנוסי
Amen. יש מרבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי המאה, יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי תקודשה
ברכו
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה
תמיד ירם בעלמה ואמרו אמן אמן.
Baruch Hu is on page 226. Please rise as you are able. Please turn to page 228. Please join me. Praised are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom, you form them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created, may they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. Please turn to page 231. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light blind we saw. That inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries. Your light moving before us, as we climbed, fell back again, and climbed again. Your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amos. Ve'ahavta is on page 234. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'beitecha u'velechtecha b'derech u'v'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'kishartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Please read responsively on page 239. The eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is no one else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exalt in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asks God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessings.
Tefillah begins on page 242. Please rise as you are able. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei ומביא גאולה לבני ולכם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך תמיד ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. בזמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
Continue on page 248. מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד רביעך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. Hallelujah. Bottom of the page. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הגדול.
Please be seated. We bless and celebrate Shabbat singing the Shamru on page 250.
שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ולרצונם. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ולרצונם. בין יהיו בין בני ישראל אותי לעולם
continue on page 253. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover from anything? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Please join me. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of hours and days from the gasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh ha-Shabbat. Please turn to page 255. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otah levadecha be'yidcha. Please read responsively on page 257. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anachnu lach, we give you thanks.
For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim anachnu lach.
For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim anachnu lach.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim anachnu lach.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim anachnu lach.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. Modim anachnu lach.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modim anachnu lach.
We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shemcha, ulecha nageh le'kadosh. Including our section of prayer, always with a prayer for peace. Today and always. Page 258. Im shalom, tova uvracha,
Grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people, Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together, through the light of your presence. Truly, through the light of your presence, Adonai, our God. You gave us a Torah of life, the love of kindness, justice, and blessing, mercy, life, and peace. May you see fit to bless your people, Israel, at all times, at every hour, with your peace. Please turn to page 261. I need strength, humility, courage, patience. Strength to control my passions, humility to assess my own worth, courage to rise above defeats, patience to cleanse myself of imperfections, and wisdom to learn and live by our sacred teachings. Let me not be discouraged by my failings. Let me take heart from all that is good and noble in my character. Keep me from falling victim of cynicism. Teach me sincerity and enthusiasm. Endow me with perception and courage, that I may serve others with compassion and love. Please take time for Tefillah Telev, silent prayer.
we turn to page 362 of our Siddur, of our prayer book, for Seder Kriyat Torah l'Shabbat, for reading of the Torah on the Shabbat. In a moment, I'd like to invite everyone to please rise as you are able, and I'd like to invite forward Hayden and Sienna to open our ark doors. Again, page 362.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אב הרחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים. כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם ונישא, אדון עולמים.
In a section of the Talmud entitled Pirkei Avot, we read that the Torah was given by God to Moses, and Moses passed the Torah on to Joshua, and Joshua passed the Torah on to the elders, and the elders passed the Torah to the men of the great assembly, and to the prophets, and so on and so forth. The Torah was passed from one generation to the next. At this time, we continue that sacred tradition of passing the Torah from one generation to the next, all the way to Madeline.
Madeline will now recite the Shema on page 366. We will recite it back to Madeline.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad
Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Adonai iti, uneromamo shemo yachtav, lecha Adonai hagidula, vehanivura, vehatiferet, vehanetzach, vehahod.
seated. In just a moment, Madeline will share with us her Devar Torah, her interpretation of the Torah portion of which she is about to read.
Shabbat Shalom!
Shabbat Shalom!
My Torah portion is called Acharei Mot, and it comes from the book of Leviticus. In my portion, God warns the Israelites not to drink the blood of animals. God tells the Israelites that anyone who consumes the blood of an animal will be cut off from their kin. The reason why consuming the blood of animals was forbidden is because the blood was considered to contain the soul or life force of an animal. When kosher animals were sacrificed to God, the blood was the life force that was offered as a sacrifice for the forgiveness of sins. In the book of Leviticus, God accepted only animal blood as sacrifices. The Torah portion also says that although it was permitted to hunt kosher animals or birds to survive, the hunter could not consume the animal's blood. The blood of the animals should be poured out onto the ground and covered with the earth before the animal is to be eaten. The rabbis determined that hunting and slaughtering of animals was permitted for food, clothing, or other purposeful needs. But Jews were forbidden to hunt just for sport. It was also forbidden to be cruel to animals. I chose this Torah portion not because I really like talking about drinking animal blood, yuck, but because I really love animals and I'm against cruelty to them, especially hunting just for sport. I agree that killing animals just for trophies or as a fun activity should not be a thing. If you kill an animal, you should eat it, but if you do not plan on eating it, you have no reason to kill it. I speak from experience. I once went hunting and felt bad about it. I hunted and killed a rabbit, and I felt so bad. After that, I vowed to never kill an animal again, except bugs. I still step on bugs, and I don't feel bad about it. And I don't eat them. Side note, this does not include honeybees. I like honeybees. They are our friends. I also don't eat meat much, or like it, especially if it is bloody, like a rare hamburger. Gross. My family buys meat from a local farm where animals are treated well, and that means a lot to me. I actually have a few pets, a dog and a pet snake, and I agree with the Torah that the animals have a life force and a soul, though I do not actually think the soul is contained in the blood of an animal. I think, as humans, we have a responsibility that goes beyond being cruel, that goes beyond not being cruel, sorry. Something that I like about Judaism is that it teaches us to be kind to animals. One of my favorite stories from the Torah is the story about how Rebecca gave thirsty camels water without being prompted to. I thought about that story last year when I was camping in Arizona with my parents, and we found a horse by itself that seemed lost and in need of care. We called a park ranger to come help. I think becoming a bat mitzvah is about taking on new responsibilities. It means being responsible for our actions. For me, it means looking out and caring for animals and humans. Actually, all beings, even bugs, sometimes. A few weeks ago, my friends and I packed lunches for 40 people. A few weeks ago, my friends and I packed lunches for people in need of food. In all, we made 40 lunches. We then brought the food to the Bread of Life food pantry, and there I met and spoke with the pastor who oversees the project. Pastor Bullock and I talked about what it means to be a Jew, and we even talked about the Jewish holiday of Purim and the strength of Esther, and how people should be more like her. And we talked about the struggle for civil rights and how Jews and Christians, such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, marched together and stood beside each other. Becoming a bat mitzvah also means taking on responsibilities as a Jew. Being a part of the Beth Tikva community is important to me, and I am proud to be a third-generation Beth Tikva member along with my family. I have been connected to Beth Tikva since I was a baby, and I have learned so much and look forward to continuing my experiences here. Thank you to everyone who helped me prepare for this day. Thanks to Rabbi Taklin, cantorial leader Alana Axel, and my religious school teachers. Thank you to my mom and dad, my grandma, Lita, and Glenn, for their love and support. Thank you to my dog and snake for listening to me practice Hebrew. Couldn't have done it without you both. And thanks to my friends and family, near and far, online and in person, for being here today and helping me celebrate. Shabbat Shalom!
Yasher Koach. Just to say, in my own bar mitzvah speech, when I was 13, I also thanked my dog, whose name was Hugger. I begged my mom for a snake, but she would not let me get one. And I would have. but pets are wonderful at helping you to practice, and they love to listen to Hebrew. Yasher Koach.
One of the quieter dogs than on Zoom. I mean, I didn't quite notice. Well, that's a well-behaved dog. Wow.
Yasher Koach. So in just a moment, Madeline will be reading from our Torah portion, which is Leviticus chapter 17, verses 11 and 12, for those who would like to follow along. And there are some humashim on the side of the room as well. In just a moment, I'll call forward our aliyot, those who are going to recite the blessing that is recited before and after reading the Torah.
No. Here. No. Yes. All right, keep it on it.
Na'lamod Baruch bat Yehudit Shoshana Kochava bat Sevi Ben Shalom. The Aliyah LaTorah. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ki nefesh habasar, v'adam hi v'ani, nitativ lachem, ahamizbeach lechaper, al nafshotechem, ki hadam hu b'nefesh yichaper, akein amarti libnei Yisrael, kol nefesh mikem lo tochal dam, v'hager, hagar b'techechem lo yochal dam.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have assigned it to you for making expiation for your lives upon the altar. It is the blood as life that affects expiation. Therefore I say to the Israelite people, no person among you shall partake of blood, nor shall the stranger who resides among you partake of blood. We call forward our second aliyah. Na'lamod Ba'ira Shoshana Bat Yehudit Shoshana La'aliyah LaTorah. Verses 17, chapter 17, 13 through 14. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'ish ish mi b'nei Yisrael u'min hagar b'tocham asher yatzud tzei chaya of asher yachal ושפך את דמו וכיסהו בעפר, כי נפש כל בשר, דמו ונפשו. הוא ואמר לבני ישראל, דם כל בשר לא תאכלו, כי נפש כל בשר דמו היא, כל אוכליו יקרא.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam atah b'tolchenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And if any Israelite or stranger who resides among them hunts down an animal or a bird that may be eaten, he shall pour out its blood and cover it with earth. For the life of all flesh, its blood is its life. Therefore I say to the Israelite people, you shall not partake of the blood of any flesh, for the life of all flesh is its blood. Anyone who partakes of it shall be cut off. We call for it the Bat Mitzvah. Na la'amod adira Shoshana bat be'ira Shoshana la'aliyah l'Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
B'chol nefesh asher tochal nevela u'trefa ba'ezrach u'vager, v'chibes bigadav b'rachatz b'mayim, v'tamei ad ha'erev v'taher, ve'im lo yichabes u'v'saro lo yirchatz, v'nasa avono. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Any person, whether citizen or stranger, who eats what has died or has been torn by beasts shall wash his clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. Then he shall be pure. But if he does not wash his clothes and bathe his body, he shall bear his guilt. While the Torah is out, it is customary to recite a blessing for healing, Misha Berach, which is found on page 371. If there is someone that you know of who is in need of healing, whether it be of mind or of body or of spirit, and you'd like to say their name aloud, please do so when I look in your direction. Misha Berach, page 371.
Tree.
of page 370. I invite you to please rise as we lift and dress the Torah, and I'd like to call forward Harvey and Darlene to help dress the Torah. Please be seated. At this time, Madeline will read an additional portion of sacred text, Haftarah, from the words of the prophet Ezekiel. The blessing before reading Haftarah is found on page 372.
As a young man, Ezekiel, a learned and cultured member of the Judean populace, served as a priest in the temple in Jerusalem. When the Babylonians first occupied Jerusalem in 598 BCE, Ezekiel was among the many Judeans who were exiled to Babylon. From Babylon, Ezekiel prophesied that the Jews would eventually return to their homeland. Ezekiel was best known for his passion, his flair for the dramatic, and his extraordinary visions, which he vividly described. He taught that the destruction of Jerusalem and Solomon's temple was just punishment for the sins of the Jews. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nbi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hene'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'b'nbi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek v'yehi devar Adonai elai lemor. The word of the Eternal came to me, saying, Now you, mortal, are you ready to arraign the city of blood? Make her known all her abominable deeds? Now say, Thus says the Eternal God, city in whose midst blood is shed, whose time will come, city where idols are made, to her own defilement. You are guilty for the blood of your own that you have shed. You are defiled by the idols you have made. Your time is up. Your day of doom has come. Therefore, I have made you a disgrace to the nations and a derision to all countries. Near and far alike will deride you. You have sullied your own name and have shown no restraint. Every one of the leaders of Israel among you uses their strength in order to shed blood. They have treated your fathers and mothers with contempt. They have practiced extortion on strangers in your midst. They have oppressed widows and orphans. You despise my holy things. and you profane my Sabbaths. You have slanderers among you, intent on shedding blood. People eat sacrifices to idols on mountaintops. They do lewd things among you. Now, then, I clap my hand at the dishonest profits you have made and the bloodletting you have caused. Will your heart remain steady and your hand be firm when the days have come for me to deal with you? I, the Eternal, have spoken, and I will do it. I will scatter you among the nations and disperse you in your foreign lands. I will purge you of your impure ways. When you are profaned before the nations, you shall know that I am the Eternal. The word of the Eternal came to me, saying, Mortal, the house of Israel has become base metal to me, all of them, copper, tin, iron, lead, even silver, have come into the furnace. Therefore, says the Eternal God, because you all became base metal, I will gather you up into the midst of Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zur kol haolamim, tzadik b'chol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber u'mekayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך מבורכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני Mekadesh HaShabbat.
I'd like to invite your parents forward to share a few words of blessing.
Madeline, you just blow me away. You're the most amazing kid anyone could ever ask for. I have to share a small story with you guys. When Madeline was learning how to ride a two-wheeler, she just had this fierce determination. She, John would push her down the street and she would get it for a second, she would maybe fall a little bit, and she would be so, just passionate about it. And I would look at her and I would be like, well, maybe we'll go inside and take a break. And she said, no, I'm doing this today. And so practicing for her bat mitzvah, I saw so many similarities. She would get stuck on a melody, or she wouldn't pronounce something just right. To me, it sounded great, but to her, she just had that same fierceness, that same passion to get this done. And yes, and your Hebrew, thank you. And when she picked out, we had let her pick out her own Hebrew name, and she wanted it to mean strength and just fierceness, and that's what Adira Shoshana means. So, Madeline, I am so proud of you. I love you so much, and congratulations.
I don't think I need a mic, I'm pretty loud. Madeline, just look around. This is all for you. The work that you put in. Bear with me. I said I wasn't going to do this. Thanks for your patience. All right. So it's funny how life is, right? You, the phases of parenting. When they're born, you give them nothing but instruction, right? You instruct them to do this. You tell them the path to go. And then they get to a certain age where it starts to change. You're giving less instruction, and you're giving them guidance. And as a parent, we're supposed to let that happen naturally. Just let them guide them, continue to guide them in the direction that they're supposed to go. But for Madeline, this all happened a little earlier than what we're accustomed. I'm a high school teacher, and she had really good leadership skills pretty much right out of the womb. So I just wanted to say thank you for teaching me how to be a better parent and just being the sun that always shines in our life. So, the sun.
Oh, the sun.
The sun.
Yeah,
Right, she's right. Okay. That's you.
That's why I call you sunshine.
Thank you very much, and enjoy your day. Congratulations. Very proud of you.
Mazel tov, Yasher Koach. We are going to continue as we return the Torah to the Ark, and we turn to page 374, and I invite you to please rise, and I'd like to invite our Ark openers forward, Beira and Martin.
לקח טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזובו.
374.
עץ חיים היא למחזיק עמך, ותומכיה מאושר. דרכיה דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדיש ימינו, חדיש ימינו
Madeline, I'd like to invite you forward to share a few words with you. First of all, Mazel Tov, congratulations, wow! You led all of us so incredibly, and I have to say, some of the passages that you read were like fire and brimstone, like really inspiring. I was thinking, you should be a rabbi, you'd be really good at that. So, Yasher Koach leading all of us, and I hope that you feel proud of yourself. We are all so proud of you. Wonderful, wonderful. Thinking back to when we were first discussing your Torah portion, I imagine that you first were thinking like, oh, Rabbi, I can't wait to hear what my Torah portion is. Is it like Noah's Ark? Is it like, like Joseph and his Technicolor rainbow? Is it the parting of the sea? I'm like, well, no, it's actually Leviticus, and it's, sacrifice and blood and guts, Good luck finding something that is meaningful to you. And also, it's not just about blood, but the prohibition against drinking animal blood. So, enjoy. That'll be like a great... And yet, you looked at the Torah portion, and you found something that was really meaningful to you. You saw that this connects to the Jewish prohibition against hunting, and also the emphasis of not being cruel to animals unnecessarily. and it was something that tied to your heart, and something that was close to your heart, something that was close to your values. And what you did with that Torah portion was absolutely amazing. And you said, yeah, I think, we actually get our food from a farm which treats animals kindly, so it's not just how an animal is killed, but how the animal lives. And then you thought about your own experience and thought connected to other stories like Rebecca, which was really amazing. And you thought about the horse that we talked about this. You're a great storyteller. You told that story about finding the horse and how you took care of that horse. And so it's about responsibility, not just being not cruel, but being kind. And then you said it's not just for being kind to animals, but being kind to human beings. And it's about and it's about standing up for justice. It's about and that the great and so you not only learned, but you acted. You took this as an opportunity to give food to people who need it, and what a great connection talking to Pastor Bullock and about the connection to social justice and standing up and being brave. So yes, it was kind of, not the easiest of Torah portions to talk about it, but what you did with it was just magnificent. Like, again, that connection, the kindness to animals, and help and hospitality to others. And that's just so much of who you are. You're someone who takes personal responsibility in everything you do. It has been such a pleasure getting to know you, working with you, preparing for your bat mitzvah. You are wise beyond years, and you are kind. You have so many friends, and your friends are here, and I saw them cheering you on at one point. It was really nice. And you're very funny, and you seem to remember everything you learned in religious school, which is really amazing. I am so glad that you and your family are a part of this community. You are so important to us. And I really look forward to many more years together studying and learning, and you have much to learn, much to teach, and come back to lead services anytime. Like you, wake us all up, right? Lovely. So I hope that this is just one more important step in your Jewish journey. Yes, you chose a Hebrew name. You chose a Hebrew name for yourself, Adira Shoshana. Adira means strength, mighty, powerful warrior, and Shoshana means rose, which is also your middle name. And so, Adira Shoshana, may you be strong and mighty and brave and courageous like Esther. May you stand up for that which is right, like Abraham Joshua Heschel, like Dr. Martin Luther King. And may you, like a rose, be sweet and kind and brilliant. And may you continue to offer blessing to yourself, to your family, to your community, to the whole world. Amen. Mazel tov. I'd like to offer you an additional blessing. So if you would please turn and face toward the ark. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May God's presence always be with you and bless you with peace. Together we all say, Amen. We'll continue our service as we turn to page 586 and remain standing for Aleinu. Shalom asanu kikoyer, lo samanu kishkot adama. Shalosam chelkeinu kael, v'gor aleinu kevor hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishachavim u'olim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'taken olam b'malchut shalai, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai, v'melech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom ha'hu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo We turn to page 590. Page 599. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. From our community at this time, we remember Blanche Abraham, Suzanne Altschuler, Sidney Boyer, Elsie Braverman, Beatrice Domofsky, Norman Elster, Melvin Feldman, Milton Gibbs, Donald Hill, Jeannie Camiel, Heather Rose Kornick, Francis Lippman, Isubio Marchowski, Annie Mole, Gussie Rosenblum, Joseph Sains, Bertha Sains, Leo Schlesinger, Jeannie Sisemsky, Ruth Schmagen, Pansy Tachna, and Minnie Tupfer. We extend support as well to the loved ones of Mark Holtzman, whose death is yet within the period of Shaloshim. If there's someone that you are remembering at this time and you'd like to say their name aloud, please do so as I look in your direction.
Sydney Pokorny, Jean Pokorny, Edward Pokorny, Joanne Fine.
Zichronam Levracha, may their memories be for blessing. 598, Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabban, v'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, u'chayei tekol Beit Yisrael, v'galau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabban mevorach le'olam u'omei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalau, shemei kudsha b'richu, ve'ela minko birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, na'miram yama v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated. We have a few people to present gifts to you. I'd like to invite a member of our executive board, VP of Ways and Means, Ann Brutner, forward to share a few words and present some gifts on behalf of the board.
Yes. Yes.
So explain.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're in a few hats today, which is my pleasure. Adira Shoshana, head on over. Not surprising to anybody, you did an amazing job today. You impressed us all with your poise, your confidence, your Ezekiel flair for the dramatic, your maturity, and perhaps above all else, your kindness to all animals, except bugs, except for honeybees. I think I got that right. On behalf of Beth Tikva's Board of Directors, we presented you with the prayer book that you used today to prepare for this beautiful day. On behalf of Men's Club. I'll present you with the Tanakh, and you can use that to answer further questions and to continue your study. And on behalf of Sisterhood, I believe it's a Kiddush cup, I think I have that right. And you may use that in your own traditions with your family, and once you perhaps leave the house to go on to your adult future. Congratulations and Mazel Tov.
But wait, there's more. Yes. and just to say, like, there is more than the book of Leviticus. Like, if you found that much in Leviticus, just wait. So much more. Here is a gift certificate from the Jewish United Fund to help a trip to Israel. And also here is your bat mitzvah certificate. As I say, you should laminate this, you should frame it, you should keep it in your favorite drawer, you should bring it with you wherever you go, whenever you do. So when you're rock climbing, mountain climbing, you should bring with you. Hiking, bring it with you. When you're listening to Harry Styles, bring it with you. I should just say that I wasn't sure who that was, and you told me about him, and now I have all the songs stuck in my head. Which is such a gift, because for months I've had it, we don't talk about Bruno, stuck in my head. I couldn't sing it. Such a blessing. Thank you so much. Mazel tov. Very good. We are going to continue our service as I invite your family forward to recite Kiddush and Hamotzi.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, והביאו בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, forever be Amen. Go for it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'tei ha'avot. Yes, you can take a bite of that while we finish off with Shehechianu on page 648, our prayer for thanksgiving for having reached this wonderful, wonderful